All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. With less than 13 days remaining until the 2020 Bitcoin halving, the third ever halving Bitcoin has ever gone through, we are watching the price of Bitcoin pump right now and pump hard. We are up over 9% today. We are over an $8,400 Bitcoin. But let me just offer you some perspective because this is great, but when in doubt, zoom out. I think that's why most of you subscribe. For perspective, if we look at Bitcoin's price chart year to date, almost looks like no movement, right? We started the year here, almost looks like a net horizontal movement. But when in doubt, zoom out. It is all about perspective. I shared this with you yesterday. Traditional markets year to date are down 11%. Bitcoin year to date is up 5%. Now this is higher after today's pump. But going farther, looking at Bitcoin in terms of gains with the US dollar, with other various currencies of the world in terms of gains, Bitcoin's been a pretty good investment. Like it, support it. Let's keep going. Let's dig deeper. Yes, when traditional markets crashed, Bitcoin crashed harder. Yes, we recovered faster too, but we've been playing sort of catch up against traditional markets year to date. As of today, like right now, this channel brought you this information first. Bitcoin is now for the first time outperforming the S&P 500 since the equity sell-off that started in late February, and this is actually pretty impressive. So look at this. Since late February, early March, yes, Bitcoin has recovered harder and faster since, but it was always outperformed by the S&P slightly. Well, when in doubt, zoom in. As of today, Bitcoin is leading the charge. Now, I believe this has everything to do with the countdown that we're watching to Bitcoin's 2020 halving. Watch today's whole video. We have big news involving China and Ethereum, involving KFC and cryptocurrency, and like always, many more stories. Big news day. But with 12 days to go, and with most of you already having watched the What is the Bitcoin 2020 halving supply shock video, you watched it, you liked it. Today we're going to answer a more niche question asked by you regarding miner difficulty. Bitcoin halving May 12th, what happens? Does it make it more difficult to mine, or is it the same difficulty but just less reward? Also, do smaller miners, after the halving, do they have any chance of making a real profit since it does become less profitable after the halving, or will they likely exit the game and leave mining to the big dogs? What's the answer? Well, in simplistic terms, difficulty will remain the same, but the reward will be cut in half. So if miners on their own decide to switch off because the revenue that they're used to getting just got cut in half and say they can't pay their bills anymore, the difficulty at a later date will subsequently drop. So to answer your question, yes, that does mean day of the halving and days after the halving, the small miners will be forced to drop off. It's no longer profitable, leaving Bitcoin mining to the big dogs in the short term. Because what's the beauty of Bitcoin? The mining difficulty adjusts based on how many people are on the network. So if less miners are on the network, it becomes less difficult. If more miners are on the network, it becomes more difficult. So those small miners that are going to be forced to drop out, either the price of Bitcoin over time will continue to go up and it'll be more profitable and they'll be able to jump back on, or the price of Bitcoin will stay the same or get lower. If that happens, more miners will continue to drop off, and because of that, the difficulty will adjust and make it more profitable for miners to start hopping back on. Sort of one of the cool things about Bitcoin. All right, next piece of news before we get to KFC and cryptocurrency. China court has just declared Ethereum as a legal property with economic value. Now, if you're an Ethereum holder, this sets a very bullish precedent. And you may remember a Chinese court declared a Bitcoin like 6-8 months ago as property as well. And while cryptocurrency is not a legal tender in China, so it's not a currency, people can hold and transfer Ethereum or Bitcoin like property. And this is coming directly from the Chinese courts. The Sichuan Something District People's Court in China has just ruled that Ether is legal property protected by Chinese law. This coming out of reports late last week. This means that the Chinese are not barred from owning or transferring the cryptocurrency Ethereum. And I'll save you the details of the court case, but basically it was a theft case. Somebody stole Ethereum from an individual, and the court ruled, hey, yes, this is property. This is a crime. Ether has value as a property. Pretty bullish statement coming out of our neighbors from the East. And this is not the first time a Chinese court has ruled that cryptocurrency is property. In 2018, the Sichuan Court of International Arbitration ruled in favor of protecting an equity transfer agreement involving Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Diamond. So you know what? They don't get it all right, but Bitcoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Diamond are legal property. Now, this doesn't mean that a court couldn't overturn these declarations in the future, but it does mean that precedent is being set now. And often when precedent is set, courts stick to that precedent. Next piece of news. KFC, your favorite chicken place, launches a blockchain pilot for digital advertising and media buys. This is not in America. This is not in Europe or Australia. This is in the Middle East. Kentucky Fried Chicken has rolled out a blockchain pilot program across the Middle East aimed at improving digital advertising and media buying. Well, question, how would a blockchain benefit them in terms of advertising and media buying? Well, KFC Middle East expects the blockchain-powered platform to ensure greater transparency in the advertising supply chain, and by developing the platform, the company also looks to address issues like security and privacy of advertisers, publishers, and consumers, all by putting that information on their blockchain. Additionally, KFC hopes to resolve any fraud issues by using a shared blockchain-based database where information about all ads, delivery, and placement is seen, shared, and updated on a real-time basis. In a direct quote from their chief marketing officer at KFC Yum Brands, he said, KFC can now benefit from enhanced visibility of real-time data and the most updated insights, all with full confidence that information is authenticated, tamper-proof, and hence credible. Now, as a smart investor, think about this. As a subscriber to this channel, think about this. This blockchain is probably going to be centralized. KFC is probably going to control the majority, if not all, of the nodes. I mean, really, we need more information. And yes, this is just a test, but this will provide some transparency if you trust the people that control the blockchain. Plain and simple. So it's not all black and white. You make your own decision, but maybe we'll be seeing this past the Middle East into America, Europe. You tell me. Next piece of news. This is an update to HTC's new phone, the Exodus, their blockchain phone, which can mine Monero if you own it. This is an update to a story that we covered a few weeks ago. HTC's blockchain phone takes over a century to mine enough crypto to pay for itself because they mine this Monero at a rate of 0.0038 cents per day. So obviously, and this is cool, but obviously the mining Monero part is more of a PR move, right? If it takes over a century to mine enough just to pay for the phone itself. And this is all with a partnership from Midas Labs, which is developing the D-Miner app, which is expected to launch in your blockchain phones in Q2 of 2020. So pretty soon. So at the rate that this phone mines Monero, what do you make over a year? Well, at that rate, you'd be in line to make just over $1 a year, about $1.30. That means you pay off your $237 Exodus 1 smartphone in around 170 years, excluding electricity costs, that is. Of course, what they don't consider is maybe if Monero's price goes up, if it doubles, this will also double. So something to think about. Of course, nobody's buying this phone as an investment in Monero. You'd buy it as a phone, and you'd also maybe mine Monero in idle. Next piece of news. Like I said, big news day. Tron brings blockchain apps to mobile consumers with their new Samsung integration. So Tron, the altcoin, and Samsung. Tron is now the first blockchain platform to be featured in the Samsung Galaxy Store. Check this out. While Tron has already been supported in Samsung's blockchain wallet, in addition to Bitcoin and Ethereum, a new section in the App Store offers smartphone users, in the US and Europe, a dedicated place to download the network's decentralized applications. In general, this is a positive for Tron, because if you are a developer and you want your dApps to be used by the public, and you know that Tron is integrated, has a partnership with Samsung, you'll be more, incentivized to develop with Tron if you know your dApps are going to be in the Samsung Galaxy Store. Interesting. Let me know what you think. All right, that's the video for today. My name's Austin. Like always, see you tomorrow. And also, just a reminder, as new people come into Bitcoin, subscribe to this channel. Keep in mind, most of you know this. My brother and I, we're not crypto gurus. When we give our opinions, it's not like we have any more inside knowledge of the market than you do. I mean, maybe we just do more research, but that's it. Think of us as we're just a couple of regular guys who'd be down to grab a beer with you and talk Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.